Hello everybody, welcome back to the shop. For 10 minutes of P-47 Thunderbolt building action, baby. Bam. Okay. Now, this is not a live video. You can't do them anymore. They're going to delete them, so you don't want the live videos. So, I'll just do it this way. That way I can upload them on YouTube too. But what I've got to do is I'm making my baffle now. And I want it to have a nice finish on it, because it's going to show, you know, in the front of the airplane. Where like my Corsair, I just painted it, and you can see all the wood grain and stuff. Plus I had to, it was wider than 12 inches, and that's all my light ply comes in. And so I need to kind of glass it together. Let me get the cup. And stir. Popsicle stick. But we're fixing to go hard and heavy, people. Part's been rolling in. That's my Z-Poxy. I love this for glassing, guys. Don't use nothing else but this. And you can see on my YouTube videos, I made some videos on how to glass, you know, an airplane, and how to do it where you end up with 0 pinhole bubbles. And for you guys that's never seen my YouTube channel, Hornet Pilot, all one word, Hornit. So I'd be the only one. All one word on YouTube. There's over 3,000 videos on there. A lot of scratch built jets, a lot of going to air shows and flying, and lots of building, baby. Lots. Show you how to make molds. See, that's what I try and do with my channel. You know, a lot of people, it's just showing you stuff they already made, you know, and I try and do it where I show you guys how to do it. That's my goal. It ain't look at what I have or look at what I've done. It's this is how you do it. And that's kind of how I try to keep my videos and show you guys how to do this stuff. I've been doing it 15, 16 years now. I bet I got as many videos on Facebook as I got on YouTube, but Facebook's going to start deleting the live ones, and we're going to lose all of the P-38 videos, guys. And I know people's popped up and said, well, you can save them, you got to do this, you got to do that, and download them, and I just ain't got time to spend days in front of the computer and do that stuff. But if someone wants to do it for me, I would be very appreciative. I hate to lose all them videos, you know, because them guys are for you guys, not for me. There's a lot of good info in them videos. So, but if someone wants to save them and put them on a drive, and someone that's sitting around with nothing to do, go ahead and then holler at me and we'll load them up on YouTube. That's what they need to be done. That's why this video is not live. And I tried to make a live video yesterday on YouTube, and it just did not go well. A couple people was popped in when I was watching, but they kept interrupting, putting this stuff on the screen, and I couldn't turn my phone sideways, and I don't know. So I deleted it. Plus, I don't want them in a separate file, where I want them just right there on my page with the rest of my videos, you know. But basically what I do here when I'm glassing, I just try and get a nice wet coat on there. You don't want to get too much, because if you get too much on there, your glass will float, and then you'll get ripples across there, and then that sets up faster than the rest, and you can't get them out, because there's more epoxy there, so it sets up faster than the rest of it, and just gets ugly. So you just kind of want to get a nice wet coat and then scrape it down smooth, because basically all fiberglassing does is it puts a nice level thin layer of resin across your wood. That's all you're trying to do. You know, this glass don't add much strength. You know, this is 2 ounce, you know, but it get a little more for that, but all you're trying to do is glue the wood grain together. Because if you just tried putting resin on wood, it's just so thin, the wood will still split. So, you know, as you know, planes get older, wood dries out and shrinks, you know, it'll split. Well, this glues your wood grain together and gives you a nice, even June bug out already. Get out of here. Gives you a nice, even, thin, low coat of resin. You know, because if you're looking to strengthen your model by fiberglassing the outside of it, you built it wrong. You know what I mean? This ain't a composite airplane. The strength should come from your build. This is just a finishing stage. Now what I'll do is I'll let this sit. Usually takes 2 to 3 hours. So you can see a little light spot right there starting to pop up. But it'll soak into the wood a little bit, but just don't panic. Just let it soak in. Then the trick is to catch it before it sets all the way up. See, this is funny. If you put a drop of resin on there, the glass will lift off the wood and float into that drop. You know, so that's why you want to scrape it down. You don't want to leave a thick layer thinking you're going to fill the pinholes. It don't work like that. But right now, if this set up and I sprayed primer on it, you'd see 1,000,000 pinholes. So the trick is to let this tack up. You don't want to let it set up, because then when you put more resin on the top, it wants to fish eye. You can't scrape it down enough because it's dry and the resin's rough and it just gets ugly like that. So the trick is to let it tack up. When you can touch it and it feels sticky and nothing transfers to your finger, it's time to put another coat on there. And then scrape it down. Don't leave it piled up. Scrape it down. Just a nice thin coat. And that goes back and fills all your pinholes. And then if you go back to my videos, you scrape it with a razor blade, and you got the smoothest surface you ever seen, man. Coat of primer, 0 pinholes, and it looks good. You know, I spent years glassing airplanes, getting my system down, you know, and I've gone back with filler to fill pinholes and that kind of blows, and this is just quick and easy. So you can already see where it's soaking into the wood. I'm getting some more white spots, but I ain't gonna chase them too much. I still got a little bit of resin here, because this resin is gonna soak into the wood and you're gonna have dry spots, but that's where that second coat comes in. Okay, if you got a dry spot and your resin's still tacky, not hurt at all. It just don't matter, because you won't have that dry spot when you put that second coat on there. Okay, bam, that's all there is to it. Now I'm gonna let this set up, and then I got my template already. But while this is setting up, I'm gonna mount the motor on the plane. And I got one cowl mount I could still use on the cowl, and figure out where I need to cut this hole. It's pretty cut and dry. The question is it, you know, because of the offset, am I going to need to put this over to one side? I just want to do it once. I don't want to have to make a cardboard template. You know, that might be best, so I don't ruin this piece of wood. But that's the size it needs to be. I just measured down on my Corsair, and this is 4 inches away, so I know where to put it in my cowl. I already got some marks and got this sanded to fit, but this has got to go in before my cowl flap stuff and the new mountain bracket. Yeah. But we got another box of stuff in today. We got the lights. Now we ordered one set. You got them from DreamWorks. Said it's for P-47. I got them. I thought, man, that's cool. But it sure does look small. Then I went and got the wing, and yeah, it was way too small. It's for like a top flight. But there's the landing light. It's got a servo and a little tray. So when you put the gear down, the comes out of the wing. Then these are the lights. I should have 3 for the wing. Okay, that's the switchboard. Maybe not. I thought they had 3 lights on the bottom of the wing. Maybe not. Maybe just the standard light setup is what we got. But these are nice lights, man. Uni lights. And came in today. Let's just study exactly where they go. And we got some spare blades for the propeller. And thing for the fuel. Or the smoke. I'm sorry. Smoke pump. Alright. I'm gonna set this aside, and while this is setting up, I'm gonna work on something else. Never know. Might just make another video. I'm gonna try and document a lot of the build we do on this. You know, there's lots of Carf P-47s on YouTube, but none of them really do a full build. And that's what we're gonna do for you guys. So you can watch it all, baby. Right here in the shop. 10 minutes at a time. Remember that? You guys are nuts. Alright, uh-oh. The battery must be going dead. I'm gonna throw this on the charger. Alright, we'll see you guys back in the shop. Bam.